Mr. Simpson, would you please stand and face the jury?
In the matter of People of the State of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA097211. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson.
That was Cuba Gooding Jr. as O.J. Simpson in FX's American Crime Story. Talking about Cuba Gooding Jr., the number of sexual misconduct cases against him continues to grow. A third woman coming forward with allegations that he had groped her. So to put this in context, there are now 3 women who have made 3 separate allegations against the Oscar winner, all of them allegedly happening in New York. Cuba Gooding Jr.'s lawyer argues the new indictment does not specify what the wrongdoing is, just that, quote, something happened. Gooding pleaded not guilty yesterday, and prosecutors said they have heard from more women as well who claim they were also allegedly groped by the actor. Let's bring in via Skype host of Law and Crime Network. He's a criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor, Bob Bianchi. Bob, good to see you. So, again, Cuba Gooding Jr. denying all wrongdoing. His attorney, among other quotes, says this is innocent behavior. But again, the accusations, the accusers piling up. Give us your take.
One of the things that struck me, Mike, is the TMZ video that was secured of the second incident. And the allegation, all these allegations are the same. It's forcible touching and sexual abuse. And with each of those statutes, Mike, it requires that a person is touching an intimate part for the purpose of sexual gratification or to degrade or abuse another human being. So that's the legal standard prosecutors have to make. In that second tape, he's doing some weird thing where he's kind of putting his arm around the backside in the lower back level of the girl and kind of like touching her in some fashion. She says that she was her pinched in her private parts there. My first reaction to that as a prosecutor was, if this wasn't Cuba Gooding or somebody famous, prosecutors wouldn't even begin to think about presenting a case like this to a grand jury as opposed to putting it into a lower court, if at all. So it makes me wonder about the rest of the motivation of the prosecutors in this case. I've got to be honest with you. I don't like the perp walk that they did, and I don't like some of the other issues with regard to the specificity or lack thereof in these complaints. I'm not saying that these women were not touched. In fact, the video seems to suggest in the second instance that the girl was. I just don't think it really meets the definition or discretion that prosecutors use to go after these cases, Mike.
Got it. Just let everybody know the 3 incidents. It's September of 2018, a month later, October of 18, and then June of 2019. And you just talked about it. Is the surveillance video going to tell the tale here? Is that number 1?
Each side is claiming the surveillance video supports their side, but I'm looking at this just as a lawyer. And sometimes I get concerned when people file what we call de minimis actions or the things that aren't really that significant, because it takes away from those girls, in particular, mainly women, who are victims of this thing. But that tape, in my opinion, supports the defense because, again, you got to go with what the law is here, not what your feelings are. And it requires touching an intimate part, which I don't believe the lower back would be considered that. And it would have to be done for the purposes of degrading that individual. And I don't think that that was the purpose. It kind of looks like a guy at a club and, he may do something. She clearly didn't like it. It appears to me on that video. We don't have any audio. And it seemed like a commotion occurred as a result of it. But it doesn't mean that it meets the statutory definition of degradation or for sexual gratification.
One other thing from the district attorney, they want permission to call up to a dozen other women who claim similar complaints dating back to 2001. Will they be allowed to give testimony? How damning could it be?
Yeah, Mike, well, that's a huge factor here. We talk about this a lot with the Cosby case. It's kind of like the Cosby effect, the Cosby factor going on here. Myself and Joey Jackson debated this, and we're on the same page with regard to this, Mike, as you know. You're not supposed to be piling on with these things. Each case is supposed to be tried separately on its independent facts. There are some exceptions to that rule. Prosecutors are trying to do that. I think the Cosby verdict is in jeopardy because of that. And if the prosecutors go too far, it's called bad act evidence, and put too much bad act evidence in, a court could very well say, I'm not going to include it, or if they do include it, it could cause a reversal because it becomes a trial about character assassination, not specifically about this incident, although I understand the magnitude of multiple people coming forward.
Got it. Bob, always good talking to you. Bob Bianchi, thanks so much.